Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are looking and comparing which camera do you want to go for. Are you going for DSLR? Are you going for mirrorless? We want to talk about the distinct differences that are applicable when someone is shooting DSLR and when someone is shooting mirrorless, but we're specifically focusing on the camera bodies and trying to see the exact differences. Now, what we just basically want to do here is to just remove this adapter, which is an EF to RF adapter. We want to just have a clean camera body because we want to have a fair comparison. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it as is. So within the cameras that we have today, guys, we've got the 6D Mark II. We also have got the EOS R. This is mirrorless, this is DSLR. So this is the mirrorless family, this is the DSLR family. And we're going to be comparing what are the exact differences. The first thing you will notice when you look at both cameras is the fact that they differ in size. You know, obviously DSLR cameras are more bulky, you know, and they are more heavy in a way. But if you come to the EOS R side, you will see that it's got a very sleek and minimal design. For example, if you look at the overall elements of the camera itself, you will see that you've got the same lens release button there. You also have markers there that show you the kind of camera that you're dealing with. You've got a red light sensor there. You also have got a red light sensor there. The one thing you don't have is this funny button, which I don't know what it does, but it's just there, I guess. But also you can see a distinct difference because on this camera body you've got that connector. I'm not sure if this basically connects you to a trigger or what. I've never even had to use this, but maybe it connects you to different additional devices. But on the EOS R you don't have such. So here you've got a very minimal design, and this one is a little bit bulky with more options. I guess this is maybe an outdated technology that Canon is no longer going with, and they decided to go more minimal. Let's now turn the cameras over and look at the adapter, at the ports that are there. Let me just refocus my camera quickly. Okay guys, so we have our cameras laying and showing us the ports side, and we want to do a direct comparison between the 6D and the EOS R, and we want to see what offers we've got. Unfortunately, this 6D does not offer us the headphone jack. As you will see that on the EOS R we've got the headphone jack. We don't have a headphone jack on this side, but there are DSLRs that offer you that headphone jack, like the 5D Mark III and other maybe the 5D Mark IV also gives you an option for the headsets. Also, you've got an HDMI output on both. This side you've got a micro USB port, this side you've got a USB-C port. So that is the main difference. This is a little bit of an older technology, whereas the USB-C is a little bit of a newer technology. On this end you can also connect a trigger if you've got a trigger, but on this end you can only connect your mic, and then that's it. I guess the trigger type that you could have connected would have come there. You also have NFC with this device. I'm not sure if NFC is there on this camera, but I am very sure that you've got Bluetooth on this specific camera, which is the EOS R. Okay, let's turn them upside down. Okay guys, now we've got a rear view of what our cameras offer us. The main takeaway from the ports was the fact that this side you cannot listen or monitor your audio when you're shooting with this camera, but if you're shooting with this one and you're doing specifically video, you'll be able to monitor and check your audio. And it doesn't mean that the DSLRs do not offer you that option. It just means that this specific model does not have an audio monitoring function. So if you want an audio monitoring function, as you said, you might want to consider the 5D Mark III or 5D Mark IV and other versions that came out that have audio monitoring functions. Okay, let's look at the back end and see what this gives us. As I did say that the biggest difference between DSLR and mirrorless is the fact that the mirrorless camera have got a more sleek and minimal design. If you look at the primarily the number of buttons, if we were to count them, we would go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. We'll count this as a wheel, 10 11. So we've got 11 buttons 12, 13 at the back. So we've got a total of 13 buttons at the back with the DSLR cameras, whereas when you come to the mirrorless camera, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 13 versus 11 buttons. A little bit more of a sleek design, but not a massive difference. But yeah, so that is the main difference. And then let's open the screens. These are our screens right there, and if you look at the Canon 6D, you will see that the bezels on the 6D are a little bit thicker than the bezels on, you know, the EOS R. Now the size of the screens also has got a little bit of a difference, because I know for a fact that looking with this when looking at the spec, the 6D has got a little bit of a smaller screen, whereas the EOS R screen is slightly bigger, and the details as well as the brightness and other features that come with the screen on the EOS R are much better than the 6D. So that is the main difference between the two cameras when looking at the screen. Button placement, you will see that the info button on the 6D has relocated also on the EOS R there, so it's no longer placed at the same place. You will also notice basically that the text, you know, the logo or the text has also been removed for a more sleek, more minimal sort of design and look and feel overall. But very happy with these two cameras. These are my two cameras. I love them to bits. I use them a lot. So fortunately, you can use the same batteries with this sort of camera. So both cameras are using an LEP6N battery. So as you will see, the battery fits in there, and if I take it out and I put it that side, the battery is also going to fit. So that is a win for me, because I don't get to lose any sort of functionality or have to buy new batteries there when it comes to that subject. So these are your cameras, and this is how your camera, this is how both cameras are looking. So let's take them up on the side and look at what we get on the other side. Okay guys, so these are cameras from a side view perspective. This is the 6D and this is the EOS R. You can definitely see that the 6D is a little bit more bulkier than the EOS R, even in terms of the height. The 6D has got a higher sort of design, whereas the EOS R is a little bit minimal there. So minimalism has become a sort of a design feature with Canon. They also just feature a one card system, so it doesn't have that double card system where you can throw in two cards and be able to back up as you shoot. So both cameras are still the same. They did not change that specific element. Now let's throw in the batteries and see what these cameras can do if they are powered. Let's look at the main differences between these cameras if they've got power. Okay, batteries are in, and ideally, even when you now look at the cameras before we even switch them on, we've got the manual locked in, we've got that Wi-Fi signal showing there. If I can just bring this closer, you will see. So we've got Wi-Fi, we've got the manual mode locked in. If we remove the battery, those options go away. So there's a little bit of interaction from the moment you put in the battery. Even before you start shooting, you'll see that the screen turns dark and it gives you options, whereas with the 6D, when you put in the battery, nothing happens. It's still dead and minimal until you turn that dial for your power switch. So let's power them on and see what happens. Now when you power this the EOS R on, you can definitely see there that there is some life. Also when you switch on the 6D, you can also definitely see that there is some life. Let me just move closer with my camera so that you guys will be able to see exactly what is happening. Right there we've got our ISO, we've got our shutter, we also have our battery life and exposure. Right now the Wi-Fi is also on. Also we are on manual focus. This is the focus or the focus drive system that we're looking at. And also on there you've got a series of buttons, whereas at the top you just have on the other camera you just basically have the record functions and the log functions and the light function. So basically with this one you can definitely switch between the various options, and you've got a wheel there that you can control for, you know, your shutter and whatever, which is the same there. There you've got your shutter button. Let me just adjust this. So when looking at the top, after we've switched on the cameras, you can definitely see that the design style has definitely evolved, because on top on the EOS R you've got the record button, whereas on the 6D the record button is still at the back there. So that is the one thing that we have noticed. Also, we have lost that big wheel. That wheel is gone now, it's no longer there. It has become very minimal and, you know, super stylish, very smooth and very nice to operate. This will also have some grooves on the side that you can be able to, you know, move around. You can feel them when you put your hand there. So that is the other difference. The other thing that we have also noticed is the minimal design on the head. If you check at the top of the camera, you will see that space has become very small. They've definitely cut down a lot to get there, but you can see that that also impacts the overall design of the camera itself. So I think that's how things are looking, guys. You can definitely see on the 6D that we've got a lot of buttons, whereas on the EOS R, very minimal buttons placed on the top. If we do a button count, we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 with the switch. Whereas on the other side, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 at the end with the on and off switch. So we definitely have less buttons on this side and more buttons this side. So basically the advantages of having a mirrorless camera are endless. You will enjoy shooting mirrorless. Mirrorless is a breeze, it's beautiful, and it's very responsive. Whatever you see through your eye cup is what comes out of your camera. So basically in there you've got another screen which is similar to this, that's going to show you whatever it is that you are shooting, whereas on this side you don't directly get what you're shooting. If you're seeing this, you're only looking at the frame, you're not looking at the intensity of the colors. You can't see, you know, the shutter. You can't really see how the picture is coming together in terms of the aesthetic. We're talking about the lighting element, where we're looking at the brightness, we're looking at, you know, focus. Yeah, you definitely will be able to see focus on this one, but the picture doesn't come out as you see it. So you still need to, every time when you snap, look at your picture in here and make sure that your picture is the way you want it to look. Whereas with mirrorless, you basically have another screen in there and it's doing everything for you. So you don't even need to take your eye out here. You can basically just do your adjustments there and get your picture as and when it comes. So guys, these are the two cameras that we're comparing. Disadvantages of shooting mirrorless. Mirrorless cameras chow battery. They chow battery. If you don't have enough batteries, guys, and you've got a DSLR, just rather use your DSLR. Alternatively, if you're going to a booking, you're going to have to take your charger with, charge one battery while you're shooting with the other. But if you've got one battery on that day and you've got two cameras, which is a DSLR or a mirrorless, I'd rather advise that you shoot with a DSLR, because DSLR are very effective and they consume minimal battery power. You will be happy, very, very happy shooting with this, because you can basically go through the whole day with the same battery if you're doing photography, especially if you're shooting through the iCup and having minimal use of the screen. But if you come this side, you better be ready with batteries. You better have backups on backups. The other disadvantage, if you're moving from DSLR to mirrorless, is the fact that now you need to get an adapter. This is an EF to RF adapter. It allows you to continue using the same lenses that you were using primarily. So there you go. You are allowed to basically continue using your EF and EFS lenses on this one if you continue, but this comes in at an extra cost of almost plus minus 2,000 rands, depending on the type of model you buy and where you buy The other nice advantage of shooting, of getting the EOS R, I think this is the feature that comes only with the EOS R. If you would have seen, our sensor was exposed, but now there's a curtain that's come in there and it has closed off our sensor to protect it, and that's an automatic thing that happens with these cameras. Whereas with the DSLR cameras, you don't have anything protecting your sensor, so the moment you remove your whole sensor space is open to dust and a lot of aspects. So these are the two cameras that we were comparing today, guys. I hope you have learned a thing or two about these cameras and their form factors and the design elements and how they benefit and impact you when looking at them both. Thank you guys so much for staying with me up until this point of the video. I hope you like and follow and subscribe definitely, so that you can keep on learning more and more about the different cameras that we will be showcasing, because we definitely will be showcasing more and more cameras on this channel. I really appreciate the support, guys. Please keep liking, please keep sharing, please keep engaging and commenting. If you've got questions, I'm ready to assist.